Welcome to Three Count Commentaries. As today we'll be talking about Stephanie McMahon and her leave of absence. And I see everybody already writing the eulogy to her career as if this is all but done and it's over. So let's read what she actually tweeted in the middle of the day on a Thursday, which is a little odd. It was 4:30 p.m., which was about the end of the workday. About 30 minutes before the end of the workday. She says, as of tomorrow, I am taking a leave of absence from the majority of my responsibilities at WWE. WWE is a lifelong legacy for me, and I look forward to returning to the company that I love after taking this time to focus on my family. So it seems pretty simple. A lot of people are reading a lot into it. Mostly that Nick Khan has slayed yet another beast, and he has now amassed more power. According to WrestleNomics, Nick Khan will now be taking over some of Stephanie's duties while she's on vacation, I guess you could say, or on leave. Now, we don't know how true that is, that Nick Khan will be taking over for Stephanie, because I don't necessarily trust WrestleNomics, but we're going to operate as if the dirt sheets are telling the truth. Now, Stephanie McMahon, then going on a leave of absence, says she's going to focus on her family. Well, let's talk about the McMahon family within the last just 2 or 3 years. And I believe in 2020 or 2021, her uncle, Rod McMahon, died. Her grandmother, Vicky Askew, died. Her husband had essentially a heart attack and nearly died. And she worked through all of this. She worked through the pandemic. Her children are still growing up. I think all 3 of her children are near teenagers or something like that. She's almost 50 years old. She's like 46 or 47 years old. She hasn't likely had a really long vacation in years. She's not Vince. Okay, Vince lives and breathes this stuff. He's probably whispering how soft she is for taking time off, even 1 or 2 days. I don't think Vince goes on vacation. The kids aren't Vince. That's the number one thing. They're soft in the belly. They're not willing to sacrifice too much for the business. But she's asking for some time off, at a high point. It's not like it's a down point. It's at a high point. WWE is making tons of money. She doesn't come across as an absolute buffoon. She did some of the upfronts, the ad revenue presentations recently. Within the last couple of days, she was working with NBC and Fox on the upfronts for both Raw and SmackDown, in which pro wrestlers like Bianca Belair and Roman Reigns and Charlotte was involved. She did that lengthy interview with Deadline as she, pitched to advertisers why they should invest in WWE. We went through that. For those of you who probably didn't hear it, I'll go through it again. So this was printed in Deadline 5 days ago. This is only a part of it. It says, WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon told Deadline in an interview that the company's trademark blend of sports and entertainment offers distinct advantages. It really is both, she said. It's like athletic theater. It's the story. That's why you care. You're swept up in these storylines. We can script the buzzer beater moments. We can script the Hail Marys. We have a leg up on sports. You may object to what we do, but you're never going to be bored. And then she has done all of this. It says McMahon said that the company has never looked back after deciding to exit the owned and operated streaming game and joining Peacock. We were ahead of the curve when we launched WWE Network, and we were slightly ahead of the curve when we decided to license our content, she said. As we are seeing with Netflix and Disney, it's not an easy business. Content is king. And it says, in terms of luring brands, McMahon said that the company thrives by being, quote, both in the sports live action business and the scripted entertainment business. People say, oh, you have to be defined in one bucket or another. But think about ESPN. What does the first letter stand for? Entertainment. In addition to traditional ad inventory, this is the writer now, pulling off integrations comes more naturally given the hybrid status McMahon maintained. Then now we're talking about Stephanie again. Whenever you watch a game, it's too cluttered, she said of general sports broadcast. WWE is able to deliver differently. She cited a partnership with Netflix for 2021 movie release Army of the Dead. She, quote, "We had zombies surrounding the ring," she said in a twist on what is known as a lumberjack match, in which wrestlers surround the ring on the outside in order to prevent escapes by the opponent. "Zombies were walking around randomly. It was pretty great," she said. Similar stunts have been done for Pizza Hut and Mike's Hard Lemonade, sometimes even trending on social media. Unlike pro sports leagues, the WWE is structured in a way that favors streamlined deal making with sponsors, McMahon said. No players' unions, team owners, stadium authorities, or agents needing to sign off on activations. Instead, a one-stop shop available for creative executions. "We own all of the IP," she said. "When brands deal with us, they just deal with us. We create something together." And this was before one of the biggest ad revenue seasons of the year, which was the upfronts for Fox and NBC. So she was doing her job just 5 days ago and seemingly doing it not too badly. You know, there's some things there, obviously, that people can nitpick and complain about. But she was doing her gig. So now people are like, well, all of a sudden, it's like, you know, this was pretty stressful too. You know, because you're dealing with these companies, Fox and NBC, or Fox and Comcast, NBC Universal. They're really relying on this stuff to work in order to bring money to these shows and to bring money to WWE. Now, as chief brand officer, it is her job to go out and hustle for these sponsorships. Now, the thing about that is, as earlier this year, about May 11th, this is from WrestleView, and they're actually piggybacking off of CNBC, so I kind of trust this. There was something that was printed here. Again, what is Stephanie McMahon's job? Her job as the chief brand officer. It's her job to go out and hustle sponsorships to get other brands to partner with the brand of WWE. And CNBC reported that analysts suggest WWE is undervalued when it comes to sponsorship revenue, estimating the company brings in around $35 million per year just from sponsorships. The number is less than UFC, which generates more than $100 million annually. Now, of course, in UFC is a MMA, it's a different thing. But people are comparing the two. So there is some question that perhaps, even though she's a good spokesperson, being a female executive in the company and everything, that perhaps she isn't doing as well as everybody would like for her to do. So maybe this leave of absence is an attempt for Nick Khan to increase business. So we have at least two options here. That one, her uncle passed away, her grandma passed away, her husband had a heart attack, she's got growing kids, her parents are getting older. You know, Vince is still Vince, he's kicking around being crazy. Her mom is, you know, a politician apparently. You know, the things that are going on with her brother, we don't know what other kind of behind the scenes stuff is going on. That maybe she needs a break from the actual work part of work just to breathe and get away from it. And then there is it is possible that as chief brand officer, she wasn't doing that great of a job. It is entirely possible that somebody says, you know what, the sponsorships, yeah, we should be doing better than this. Perhaps we will replace Stephanie for a little while to see if we can increase business with her being gone. Is the problem the company or is the problem Stephanie? And she's going to give them space and give them the opportunity to prove that, hey, it's not really me, it's the company, or yada, yada, yada. Those are at least our options there. The concept that Nick Khan is slaying beasts here and there, and, you know, all of these people are getting out of the way. If she was resigning and leaving the company, period, I think that would have been said, you know, that she would leave the company, period, and just resign and move away. It might not even have said anything, but she is an executive. She would be on the calls and everything. So maybe she's going to be gone for the quarter, which would be 3 or 4 months. We don't know. All right. We don't know. But ultimately, I think a lot of people are, writing her eulogy a little too soon. Sometimes people need to go and take a break. Sometimes things are what they are, face value. She just needs to take a break. I know as wrestling fans and as people who are really interested in things, we tend to want to peel back that onion. We want to know why. Why now? Of all times, does she need to take a vacation? Why now? And then all of these people are digging into the backstory. Did she tell all of the people that report to her? How did they find out? I think somebody says that, I think Fightful maybe. Don't get me the line, but I think Fightful said, well, the people that, report to her didn't know she was leaving until she tweeted it. And I was like, well, that's not very professional of Stephanie to, for an executive in the company to just randomly tweet out, yeah, I ain't going to be there next week. Whatever. I'm out of here. Bye. Peace. Friday's my last day for a while. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the case, man. There is a case that there's going to be some people who don't need to know. And maybe that's the thing. If you're low on the totem pole, do you really need to know that your boss is going on vacation? I've worked in places and the bosses went on vacation. I had no idea. They didn't tell me. They didn't send a memo out telling every janitor in the building that, somebody, the boss is going on vacation. Sometimes people just do stuff and you don't know about it. But I'm pretty sure the people who needed to know did know before she tweeted it out. But then again, she had to tweet it out because she's an executive in the company. So I think a lot of people who are, and some people, and I forget to mention this because I was, they kind of have this concept that maybe Triple H is on the downswing. That's maybe his health is getting worse. And I considered that when I first saw that, that's the first thing I thought, is that maybe Triple H has turned, has gotten worse off. And I quickly kind of caught myself because I said, you know what? I think she would have said that, or it would have been that Triple H also would be taking a leave of absence. They would be doing it together if it was Triple H's health issues. For it to just be Stephanie taking time off, then that means it's, they're not being booted out of the company. If it comes out with, like, within the next couple of weeks that Triple H is also leaving for an extended period of time, I would be like, oh, but, there was a time when Triple H was already gone. He was, had left to have, when his heart had its thing. I keep calling it a heart attack, but they might have called it a myocardial infarction or whatever the hell, It's entirely possible that this is all just Stephanie needs a break. And that it's been very stressful for her with the deaths in the family and working through the pandemic and the kids growing up and the pressures at work, that she just needs to take a break. That sometimes things just are what they are. Now, I gave you some general ideas of things that it could be. Take your pick. But my best guess is until I hear otherwise from a reliable source, things just are what they are. And that she probably stressed out and she just needed to go home for a while. I don't see anything, that is in dire need of Stephanie's, attention right now. The sponsorship season is never over, but, there's things that she can work on. She didn't give up everything that she's doing. She's relinquishing some of her authority, but she hasn't, I don't think, sold any stock. So she's still going to be a stockholder, a shareholder in the company. What's going to be changed, except for maybe she's not going to be in the office as much or as long, or she might not be answering the phones as often. We don't know exactly what's going to change. A lot of people think that it's going to change the creative structure of the company or the show. Could SmackDown be better now that Stephanie's not involved with creative? She may be in respects to stuff for the brand, like the lumberjack match with the zombies and everything. Maybe we won't get no crap like that while she's gone. But who knows? We may get worse crap than that now she's gone, But I'm A-okay with Stephanie leaving to take time off. I don't see it as being a big deal. I don't see it as being a problem. It's something that we are looking at here, and a lot of people are reading more into it than they maybe need to. Sometimes just take things at face value. And face value is Stephanie wants to focus on her family, and we know that the McMahon family has been a mess. Again, her uncle died. Her grandmother died. Her husband had a heart attack. That's difficult stuff to deal with, you know? And yes, and she worked through all of it in a global pandemic. And her father is a maniac who insisted on wrestling at nearly 80 years old. I mean, and, you know, it's entirely possible that she wasn't very good at her job and maybe she's being moved somewhere else. That's also an option. Again, take your pick. But I take things face value for now. And for now, I'm just going to say Stephanie needs a break. This is the first time she's ever pulled something like this. So it's just telling me that, hey, it might be necessary. You know, there's a lot of wild conspiracy theories out there. Not just that, you know, Nick Khan is taking over. That's a conspiracy theory we hear all the time. That the company's up for sale because McMahon's not going to be there. It's like the only McMahon that matters really is Vince. You know, if Vince was having a leave of absence or something like that, I would, you know, be standing on the table like, what is going on? The house is on fire. You know, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, Stephanie is a pretty big deal. But who knows if she's gone for 30 days and comes back and nothing's changed? You know, is the house still on fire? You know, we don't necessarily smash the panic button every time somebody does something we don't expect. Like in the real world, people get tired. You know, we think the McMahons are machines, that they live and breathe the business, but that's Vince. That's what you are led to believe that Vince is. The kids are not Vince. Linda is not Vince. They all worked there, but they all took their time to get out of there too. Linda got the hell out of there and wanted to do something else. And I wish she wanted to do probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world because she wanted to be a politician. Shane got the hell out of there. He had to go do some other stuff. You know, now Stephanie is like, maybe I need to take a break. And Vince is, again, the last one standing. You know, you got to pry him out of there in a casket. You know, but the kids are not Vince. Linda is not Vince. We consider the McMahons to be a machine. But that's really just Vince. You know, Vince is what he is. Now, so I don't think too much about this. But let me know what you guys think of this whole ordeal. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
Skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy